everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And, Nick, how's your week?
It was good. Really, the only thing I did of significance was we had an early Father's Day for my dad because both my mom and I will be at softball this weekend. So we did a barbecue and whiskey and things at Dad's house.
Nice. Okay. Well, I guess that's just, we'll just start with that then. And we'll just say that's we'll just do shout outs now and say that, happy Father's Day, because today's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to, dads all around, our dads particularly. You did your Father's Day early. I will be calling my dad on Father's Day, obviously, today. We're recording this on Friday, so I talked to him a little bit ago, because I talked to him a lot of days, but, but it's always...
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. So, do you have any... You said you did like a barbecue and like whiskey. Do you just have like, is there a certain whiskey that your dad likes? Like what's the...
So, sometimes we'll go to like a distillery tour or something. This year we didn't. I got him, Nathan got him a bottle of whiskey that I'd never seen before, and Dad hadn't either. It was a very expensive, like, I don't know, I forget what it was called now. There was like a soldier on the bottle. But what I got him was a old-fashioned like smoker kit. It came with like a blowtorch and different like types of wood chips.
Oh, nice.
Like oak and different things and different garnishes. So that's what I got him. And so at some point when we're not all working and everything, when Nathan and I go back over, we're going to try different types of old-fashioned, and it came with like glasses and like a top so you can smoke, the old-fashioned, and yeah, it was very cool.
That's cool.
But we usually do something that Dad would like that, like a distillery tour, or this year we barbecued and then did that. So
nice.
Yeah.
I am not my family doesn't live as close, so I usually am not around. So it's usually just a phone call for the most part. But I don't really think, I can't think of any memories that I have of specific like Father's Day things that we did or anything like that. So I don't really know of anything like that.
Yeah.
Which makes me sound like a terrible son, but
No, mine used to be, I mean, when I was away at college and stuff, it would be a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
But since Nathan and I are both here now, we try to make the most of it.
Yeah. I mean, I would obviously if I was there, but I don't. I just don't. I can't remember anything even from when I was a kid that was like a specific Father's Day thing either. But
I think Nathan and I used to do the
make a gift for Dad.
And the traditional like nuclear family from the 50s cartoon. Like we would get up and make Dad breakfast and breakfast in bed, and like the picturesque family type thing.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, dating back to the 50s. Our topic this week doesn't really actually go back that far from the
well, like 1957 or something was kind of the first
1950
mall
56 in the US.
Yeah.
1956. So, we're talking about malls, which is something that my dad despises. So, this is a great topic for Father's Day for my dad, because he just loves those things. Yeah, he avoids them like the plague. I don't know about your dad.
I don't think my dad ever really minded them. My mom, she used to say, I'm going to get a rash as soon as we go in, because she hates shopping. I don't think my dad actually minds shopping that much.
I don't know My dad just doesn't like people.
Yeah.
And the older he gets, the less he likes people. So,
See, I think that my dad and I have the same love language, which is usually gift giving
mm-hmm.
or quality time, but gift giving for sure.
Yeah.
And so we like to, pick out things. Not now, most of the time I get stuff online now,
Yeah.
which is part of what we're going to talk about today. But yeah, my mom for sure, that is not her love language. So she avoids it like the plague as well.
Yeah, we're talking about malls, specifically the downfall of malls, which has been an ongoing thing for the past several decades. So, Nick,
Yes.
when do you think I looked up? So I did some facts. I did some fact finding. When do you think the peak time of malls was?
So I didn't do fact finding. I did just my own thoughts and different peak thoughts and reasonings for the downfall and everything. So what I think is the peak would be like late 80s or early 80s. Because to me, peak mall time is like the Stranger Things where it's packed. There's the arcade, there's restaurants, everyone shops there. I don't know. That was like the peak to me. But obviously I wasn't alive then. But,
I wasn't either.
So that's what I would think it would be.
Okay. You're correct. 1980 was the peak mall time. There were about 2,500 indoor shopping malls across the U.S.
Wow.
Today, when this article that I read came out, which was, I think this was last year. This was in 20. So all these articles were kind of, this has been an ongoing thing. Most of them were between 2023 and like 2024. So I couldn't find anything that was like super like 2025, but most of them were updated between 2023 and 2024. There's only about 700 left.
Wow.
And
that doesn't surprise me.
According to Capital One's shopping research, they estimate up to 87% of those will be closed within the next decade.
Wow. I mean, it makes sense. When I was thinking of malls in our area, and I know that it's regional because places like Las Vegas, they are still popping, but so I know that specific regions very much still have active malls. I totally get that. But when I think of overall, there's so many that have come and gone. And I was thinking of like malls I went to growing up specifically and what I thought led to their downfall. And then I kind of extrapolated that out to, well, maybe this applies to, a lot of other malls as well. But for us locally, so I used to go to Independence Center, so in Independence, which is a suburb of Kansas City.
Yep.
It is still
I've been to that
open.
Mall. I went to that mall with you, actually.
Yes, we did. It's very much still open, but not at all like it, has been in the past. It probably its peak. So that one specifically, I think a lot of us think of online shopping, COVID, the recession. There's a couple like obvious indicators, but also crime and curfews. A lot of malls across the United States, I think, have specific like curfew laws or increases in crime, like robberies and things. But also the need for like remodels. And I think there was a lot of not just in malls in general, but just in commercial property in general, especially before COVID, through the 80s and 90s and 2000s. I think there was a lot of overbuilding. And now those buildings are needed to be either torn down or remodeled. And it's a high cost for something that's dying anyway. So that was kind of my thoughts on at least the local things that I saw.
That was one of the things that I saw as well, was struggling to adapt outdated design, not having the selection anymore because all of your big, some of your big like anchor stores are going away. Um, so you don't have the draw in anymore. The little stores can't keep up. So you just have kind of the dying, the fact that
Yeah.
brick and mortar stores are just too costly to
Yeah.
operate. Um,
And too costly to buy from as
mhm.
a consumer when
Yeah.
there are other low cost options, which I think was made worse after the recession, I'm sure, in 2008. I mean, that recession.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about, me being very middle class, um, myself, like ourselves, I will still seek out, like, I'm not in a position to go to the mall and buy a bunch of expensive
Hmm.
things for gifts and clothes and things like that. As much as I want to contribute to local stores and small stores, and I do when I can, I will always try to shop
Hmm.
local when I can, but I can't always afford to.
Yeah.
So I think that has also changed a lot.
Yeah. And that was something I saw a story on PBS too that talked about one of the things was the average income has like it's been stagnant,
Hmm.
so people can't afford to do it. Um,
Yep.
and also, this story was August of 2023. So when
Hmm.
PBS came out with this, um, as of that point, there had talking about like the outdatedness. There had not been a
Hmm.
new indoor shopping mall built since 2006.
Wow.
So it's been almost 20 years since a new indoor shopping mall has been built in the United States.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
That's a long
Yeah.
time.
I do miss, because I went to the mall growing up.
Hmm.
We would go
Yeah.
and
Well, I
hang
feel like
out
we went to the
and go
mall
with
almost every
friends. And
weekend when I was a
yeah,
kid.
yeah, it was still, so I was born in 97 and still it was a big thing. And my brother too, being born in 2000, he still went too. So I think it was, maybe this next generation, like Gen Alpha, is it? Where they had already been dying off. And I think some of them still go to the mall. I still hear like my, little cousins talk about going to the mall and stuff, but it doesn't seem like it's nearly as much of a thing.
Hmm.
But when you did go to the mall, what were your favorite stores to go to?
I never went to the mall. I didn't go to the mall a lot by myself or with
Hmm.
friends. Um, because when I got older, that's just not something we really did. We just went,
Hmm.
like, I went with my family, so it was just
Hmm.
walking around the mall. Um,
Yeah, I do miss
my,
just like going for fun, just
yeah,
for funsies. Like,
just to
let's
like
go walk around the
walk
mall.
around the mall. Like, that's
Hmm.
just what it was. Um, we didn't have one at our mall. My favorite store was always Brookstone.
What's that?
Brookstone had like the most random, like, tech dumb things that you didn't really need.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
like if you didn't, it was like massage
I looked at their
chairs
website.
and
Yeah.
like random, just random gadgets. It was all gadget
Hmm.
things. Um,
It's very on brand for
yeah,
you.
I always liked stores like that.
Hmm.
So that was my type of
That's
store.
funny. Yeah, that's funny. My, I have two favorites. Um, Tivana.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Tivana is no longer open, I
No.
don't think. That was my favorite. I mean, I would be in middle and high school, and that was my favorite. I would love to go try their teas, try their samples,
Mm-hmm.
buy I remember one of my first paychecks that I got for working field crew for softball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went to buy like my own teapot and loose leaf tea. Oh my God, I love that store. It was like me and the other 80-year-olds. That was my favorite. And then my other favorite was my brother's favorite as well, was vintage stock. Because we
Oh,
loved
okay.
to go in and
Yeah.
buy and trade, and we thought we were so cool. They were ripping us off big time. But we thought it was so fun to go in there and then sell games back to them. And I mean, vintage stock is still open. I still like going in there, but man,
Mm-hmm.
in its peak, it was peak. It was awesome.
Yeah. Um, I did though. One of the things that we talked about online. That's one of the big things that I saw everywhere
Hmm.
was online.
Yeah.
Online. I mean, it's just online shopping is a big thing for multiple reasons. Like the social aspect, because they said
Yeah.
online shopping has become more social, like with TikTok and people
Hmm.
just like kids, because used to kids went to the mall to be social, and they don't do
Yep.
that anymore because they're on social media, and
Yeah, they don't have to.
they can shop through social media while doing
Yep.
that, so they don't
Link in
need
my
to do that.
bio.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's easier to shop online. You can have it
Yeah.
directly shipped to your door.
I love online shopping.
It's a lot of times cheaper to shop online. Most of the time, it's
Hmm.
cheaper to shop online. So
Hmm.
it just kind of killed brick and mortar stores. Like it just
Yeah.
so much killed brick and mortar stores. And
Yeah.
then
And the ones that were already struggling, COVID did them in for sure.
yeah, um, the according to the League of Cities, this is another thing that I found talking about COVID. According to the League of
Hmm.
Cities, more than 12,000 retail stores closed permanently in 2020.
Wow.
In April of 2021, the number of small businesses that shut down was more than 33% from January of 2020. So
Wow.
a third of businesses closed down between
Yeah.
that year and a half, basically, from when COVID started to when that.
Hmm.
So that the shutdowns and everything, if there was any business that was somewhat having troubles,
Hmm.
they were done in.
Or unable to adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
online shopping thrived because
Hmm.
you couldn't get
Yeah.
anything anyway other
Nowadays, your
ways.
business, whether it's a business, a restaurant, whatever it is, it has to have some draw other than just you can buy this certain thing here
Yeah.
because you can get it online. You could get things delivered. You can get groceries delivered. So there has to be some reason to go.
Hmm.
So I think there were a lot of businesses that did adapt. A lot of restaurants that adapted and went to delivery or curbside pickup or alcohol to go. There were ways to adapt. Yeah, it was still a struggle. I'm not saying it wasn't a struggle because obviously it was. But I think some businesses just didn't.
Yeah. And it still is a
So,
struggle for a lot of businesses too. So,
yeah. Mhm. 100%. Yeah. No, it's
but
crazy. And then I think I got really deep in thinking the other day,
okay.
and then I went on this whole like existential crisis. Like I was thinking about the downfall of malls, hence our topic,
Hmm.
for the day. And then I was like, we as society are also losing like our conscious energy ties to each other. And we're becoming more detached because of, technology. And technology is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I love my phone. I love our podcasts. I love lots of things. I
Hmm.
love playing games.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it's detached us, you know, as a collective.
Do you mean like we're not as, you mean like we're not as attached?
Empathetic.
Yeah.
Like I think humans aren't as empathetic anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about this as well, like this week when you see videos of wars starting in other countries and then scroll right by it. I was like, man, I feel so detached myself. And I'm sure other people are thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I Yeah, I can understand that.
A very deep tangent from malls.
Yeah, very deep tangent from malls.
That's why I said this was
Um,
very much like my own existential crisis.
and I also wonder if that has to do with the fact that you have so much of that at your fingertips now. Like back in the day,
Yeah.
you didn't see everything that happened all the time, or
Hmm.
it took, a week for you to find out if anything happened, whereas now you can
Hmm.
see it instantly on your phone. I wonder
Yeah.
if that makes a difference with that too.
Hmm.
Um, which is the same thing. It is technology feeding into that and making it, less of a
Yeah.
thing. But I wonder if that's part of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day, and then it kind of goes along with a lot of why places like malls, are not just malls, also other stores, retail stores, brick and mortar stores. Um, a lot of it has to do with technology for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, but
But I do love, so as much as I'm like, society, sad, malls, sad, I do love watching the YouTube videos of abandoned places.
oh, they're fun.
And
Yeah,
yes, oh my God, I love them.
they're a lot of fun to watch.
And yes, when they go to malls or asylums or churches that are abandoned, I live for it.
Hmm.
So, as much as I don't want like society to collapse, I love a good abandoned places YouTube video.
Yep, I love watching the abandoned places. I like watching the abandoned
Mhm.
theme parks. That's a fun one to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
abandoned
Mm-hmm.
places YouTube channels are always fun to are
Mm-hmm.
always fun to
Love
watch.
them.
Yeah, the
Yes,
the
they're so good.
urban exploring. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
that's a fun. Those are fun channels to watch.
Yeah.
Um.
I know, like one of my favorites is Urbex Hill, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know he's been so many places. I like watching the overseas ones as well. I think we had talked about this before. There was that Japanese island that was abandoned,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then now I think they do tours there, but it was abandoned for a long time. And there were videos of like that. I don't know, they're so fascinating in other
Yeah.
countries
They
too,
are.
not just here.
Yeah, all over the place because there's abandoned. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously abandoned stuff all over the place, and
Yeah.
and um, we've talked about how the
Oh,
U.S. isn't
and the
actually that old. So
nuclear exclusion zones,
hmm
those are interesting too.
yeah, yeah. It's always
Yeah.
it's. I love watching those videos too. So
Hmm.
they're always interesting to see. But
Yeah.
um,
Yep.
does that mean if it's is it time for facts? Are we ready for
I think
facts?
so.
Okay, let's let's do facts. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go
Do
first.
you have a mall fact, or or do we have a grandpa fact this week?
It's a mall
It's a
fact.
mall fact this week. Okay, I have
Hmm.
I have a mall fact as well.
Okay.
Um, you we mentioned that the first mall in the U.S. was built or is from 1956.
Hmm.
So the world's first mall
Hmm.
is actually in Milan, Italy.
Mm.
Uh, the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II. That's what it's called.
Mm.
It was
Interesting.
built in 1877.
Wow.
Um, and it still stands today. They still use it, apparently.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Interesting.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah. Very long time ago. So I have a similar one. So the first mall as we knew it, like you just said, was the 1950s
Hmm.
here. But there was the Westminster Arcade in Providence, Rhode Island, was erected in 1828. It is technically the first enclosed shopping arcade in the United States. But it's different than malls as we know it now. But they are a National Historic Landmark, and that's what they claim is they're the first enclosed shopping center.
1828. That's even older than the 1870s.
Hmm.
That's even older than the Italy one.
Yeah. So it all depends on
What
your
you consider
definition
a
of
mall.
mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was interesting to me. So that's
Huh.
in Providence, Rhode Island. And it's like an old Coliseum looking building. It's very pretty looking. And
Interesting.
it says now, so it had been closed for a long time for renovation and rehab. And now it's residential and commercial mixed use building. But it is a National Historic Landmark.
A lot of malls are going to that residential
Yeah.
commercial mixed because they can't like
I mean, you have to.
yeah
What else are you going to do with
yeah
that,
you
you
have a
know?
giant space that you can't do anything with anymore, so
Mm-hmm.
you can't rent it out as much. So yeah, there's a lot of them that are
You
going to that.
do paranormal tours or something. I don't say that it's haunted and then make it a paranormal destination.
I mean, I guess you could. You can
Yeah.
if the building's old enough, you can say that it's haunted and trick people into that. So I guess you could do that. If it's old
Yeah.
enough, there's probably been somebody that's died there. So
Yeah,
um,
that's what I was gonna say. Not necessarily tricking people. I don't believe in tricking people. But I meant like I'm sure at some point, if it's a building that's over 100 years old. So I'm not talking about like malls that are built in like 2006 and then closed during
yeah.
COVID. But
I
there's
mean,
there's
but
a lot of shady stuff that happened,
if
especially if you were in a place where the mall was a not a front for a money laundering, but like let's say a group in the area used it, to
hmm
funnel money through or something. I'm sure there was shady things that happened there.
yeah.
That's a whole other tangent. That's probably a whole nother episode.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for this week, folks.
Yeah.
So if you like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. If you want to give us a topic to talk about, write it down in the comments because we will talk about it. We talk about just about anything. So yeah, just let us know and we'll put it on our list of things to talk about sometime. It'll probably be relatively soon at some point. But yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.